Hello friends, Southampton and Jesse Marsch are a combination that I don't think any of us really expected to be talking about right now. Nevertheless, join me as we go through some of the things that I think will improve Southampton under Jesse Marsch's tenure. If you enjoyed the video, please leave it with a like and subscribe if you haven't for more content like this coming very soon. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well. You don't want to miss what's coming up in the near future. But now, let's talk about how Jesse Marsch will improve Southampton. Here is a permutation of the Southampton team that I think Jesse Marsch might go for. We have them set up in a 4-2-3-1 formation, but it's mainly the tactics and the instructions that I think Jesse Marsch is going to give the side, which is the most important thing. We're going to run through the team now, but before we do, let's have a talk about what we expect from a Jesse Marsch side. We expect high intensity, we expect fast-flowing, frenetic football, we expect some kind of a defensive structure, and we also expect teams to really work hard under Jesse Marsch. So, with that in mind, let's have a look at the lineup. We have Bazunu in goal. He's pretty fine. I do think he's going to grow into his goalkeeping gloves, so that's okay. We have Kyle Walker-Peters, who's very good at bombing forwards with the ball. He's very good with the ball at his feet, and he's also quite good defensively, so that's a good plus for us here. We have Kaleta Carr and Salisu here, who are two decent defenders. I wouldn't exactly say they're amazing, but for the time being, they will obviously make do. We have Perraud here as well, who likes to get forward as well. He's got a good cross in him, which will be useful later on down the line. We have Lavia and Diallo here in central midfield. I could have gone for a sole central defensive midfielder, but I think that Lavia and Diallo might benefit from sitting next to each other. They can share the workload, and it also allows them to really drift over to these two channels. When they do get overloaded in wide areas, they're going to need to start shuffling about, and that will allow them to really move across. Lavia can go to this left-hand side, Diallo can go to the right. James Ward-Prowse can also come in and fill some gaps when either of them decide to vacate their space. It's all about communication. I do think the rotation of players is going to be absolutely crucial. That's something that Jesse Marsch likes. If you move into an area, you need to be expected to take up that other player's position. Edozie is one of the wingers here, and so is Suleiman. I was extremely impressed with him when he played against Wolves. Very fast, very direct, very physical. Good player who is going to fit in very well with this Jesse Marsch system. Edozie is another player who's come from Manchester City, 20 years old, and I do think he's got some quality in him. That being said, his performances haven't lived up to the level of hype that I think surrounded him. Give him a little bit of time in the system, however, and I do think he's going to be running the channels and popping in crosses more often than not. Zekko Mara is my choice attacker in terms of our striking options. I could have gone for a number of other players, including Shea Adams. However, I do think that Mara is a little bit more mobile, and I think utilising him going forwards, especially with his mobility and his pressing attributes, I do think he's going to be able to help out this Southampton team more than those other players. How will this Southampton team end up playing? Well, as I've previously alluded to, Mara, Edozie and Suleimana have the ability, if they ever want to, of really initiating a pressing game. This is something that Jesse Marsch likes to do because he likes to get those high turnovers in the opposition half. This allows them to be closer to goal when they end up creating chances. It stops the counter-attack, and it also allows Southampton to really pen teams in. This is what Leeds did quite well. They utilised their energy in the pressing game to be able to allow them to create high turnovers. This allowed them to really get towards the enemy's goal or the opposition's goal more often than not. If they were ever to get through that press, I do think here, rather than at Leeds, Southampton have a bit of a better option, because with these two holding central defensive midfielders, you've got another wall of pressure that you have to go through, and then after that, then you hit your back four. I think it's a sensible team selection because of the way that Southampton are conceding goals. They need to stop conceding a goal a game, and they need to start scoring. The scoring will come from Suleimana and Edozie creating those wide opportunities. James Ward-Prowse will be the linchpin in all of this, making sure that he's popping crosses or crossfield passes over to these two separate areas. I'll highlight them for you right now. We all know that these channels that the wingers like to operate in, it's going to be crucial that both Edozie and Suleimana make their way into these channels to allow and help the likes of Zekko Mara once he gets into the box. When he gets into the box, he's going to need support from James Ward-Prowse. This is going to be extremely crucial because Mara can't do everything by himself. When this happens, you're going to see the entire team move forwards, and then you're going to create some attacking actions. Then you're going to create some real pressing options and help to pen in the opposition. It's not going to be a side that goes from back to front all of the time. It's going to be a side that wants to try and dominate possession, dominate the play, and allow them to go forwards. Mara is going to be key in making sure that they score some goals. He's also going to be occupying the defenders, so the likes of Lavia or Diallo can press forward when they get certain kinds of overloads. Galetakar and Salisu are going to be dropping back, obviously, to hold that defensive line, and Walker-Peters and Perraud will do it in tandem to be able to go forwards and try to assist the wingers when attacking and creating those overlapping actions. They could go over, they could go under, but either way, it's all about creating those overloads in the wings to help extra crosses go in to Mara. Moving these players back defensively, I do think they're going to be okay. They've been a bit concerning of late. That being said, I do think with this extra defensive formation, with the energy I think Jesse Marsch will be asking from this Southampton team, I think they'll be absolutely fine. They'll be able to utilise the pressing actions from Diallo and from Lavia, who are both very, very good at running and playing on and off the ball. Defensively, they're okay, and I do think with some structure, with some added assistance and just a little bit of help, I think they'll be absolutely fine. As I said, Ward-Prowse will be able to drop into this pocket if one of them decides to vacate their space. Walker-Peters is very good, and so is Perraud at defending those wide channels, but they're going to need help from Edozie and Suleiman. It's going to be very much a team effort in this Jesse Marsch side. I do think that he's going to be able to really get a number out of them. I do think he's going to be able to get a response, one of energy, one of passion, one of drive, and one of high pressing. I'm going to keep saying that because that's what Jesse Marsch really likes to pride his games on. You saw that at RB Leipzig, you saw that at Leeds United. High pressing, frenetic, high tempo football, and it's something that I think Southampton fans can really start to be quite excited by. Yes, bottom of the league, but you need to forget about that for just a moment. I know it's tough, but the football that could be created by the Southampton team is something that's quite exciting. Suleiman and Edozie are two exciting players, and I think it's almost the excitement in the way that a football team plays, especially when they're around the bottom, that gets forgotten. It needs to become exciting. It needs to get the crowd on board. It needs to be something of an enjoyable experience again. And I think with this fast-flowing, frenetic, high-energy football, I do think the crowd are going to get involved. Lavia and Diallo will create some kind of steal in the midfield. Ward-Prowse will be the unlocking nature to be able to spray passes round. And overall, I do think there's a better balance to this side, especially with the tactics that Jesse Marsch will implement here. Overall, it's always going to be a risk. It's always going to be a dangerous one, especially when a manager's just been sacked from another club, especially one of the rival clubs that you're going for. But I don't think that Leeds necessarily should have sacked Jesse Marsch, and I think they've made a mistake in that. I think he had some real key parts to that Leeds United side that allowed them to work quite well, and it's going to depend on the manager they bring in as to whether they're able to go forwards or backwards. With Southampton, I think they have so many young players, they have so many young prospects, that it's a case for a manager like Jesse Marsch, with the enthusiasm that he has, with the messages that he has, to really mould this team into his own image. And if all goes well and the players are willing to listen to him, I don't think it's going to be too long before he's able to get his imprint on this side. Fast-flowing, attacking, energetic football with a bit of a high press. Quite entertaining stuff. And if all goes well and all goes right, you should see Southampton going up and creeping up the league before too long. That's it for today, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave the video with a like and subscribe if you haven't, for more content like this coming very soon. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well. You don't want to miss what's coming up in the near future. And let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on Jesse Marsch and Southampton. Southampton fans, I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts on the new manager. How do you think he's going to do? And do you think he's the guy to take you out of the relegation zone? Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. But like I said, that's it from me for today. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care of yourselves and bye-bye.